Okay, see, that wasn't so long. I'm back. Okay, so now I'm on episode 11, which is one of the longest ones that they've done in a long while. The longest one is actually going to be episode 12. I've never seen one that was 28 minutes long, ever. So, with that being said, let's start getting into it. So, as we left off, most of the students are fighting Grim. Blake, got reunited with Adam, not in a good way. Um, Ruby, Ironwood exploded and Penny is destroyed. And Ruby is about to go fight Neapolitan. And this is where I start. Did you all notice that damn wink that Neo gave Ruby? It's like, okay, I know she's a little bit of a goof. She's like the annoying person that, they're all, like the annoying person who is like, they're always right, even though they don't have to say it. It's like, ugh. But the thing is, she winked at her, and it's like, I hate to say cat and mouse. It's like, is she flirting with her or something? And it's like, I realize maybe not. But that was my note, so it's just like, I want to put that. Sorry if it's a little shaky, I'm trying to crack a toe. That's better. Okay, and then we get to, back to Adam again, which, Blake and Em are arguing, and he calls her his love. And it's like, oh great, he's one of those types of men. It's like they can't let go if when you dump them. It's like, I hate those kind of men. Mostly I see them on TV though. I've seen them a couple times in real life, but they're not as desperate as Adam is. Um, and it's like, and this is what I was saying before with the whole students thing. And then love the montage of the previously shown students. You can't show anybody else. But I think, like that, one girl, Ciel, that was working with Penny. Unless she was the girl crying on the ship when they were evacuating people and she was just but she's not Beacon, and there was a Beacon uniform. But it did look like her a little bit. But I don't know where that student was. I wish we could have seen her. And then it's like something happens where a couple of people either get hit or whatnot, and it's pretty much, so this is like the next thing with ships. Neptune and Weiss, because Weiss gets knocked into and with something, and Neptune is like worried about her, or maybe it's just worried for a fellow comrade. And then Lee, Ren, and Nora. It's like Nora pushes Lee, Ren out of the way from. Excuse me, while I go. I have to deal with a cat. Excuse me, those are not for playing with. Those are my dad's football helmets. Like, get down. Come on, you. Sorry. I'm trying to keep it to the ceiling because I'm not supposed to show anything in our house the majority of the time. The only thing you'll ever see is a white wall or a bunch of pillows, 2 posters, or the DVDs behind us. Anyway. Oh, right. So, and then she gets knocked into, or gets hit, and then Lee Ren goes after her. And it's like, we've been seeing since the beginning that they've been friends before they even went to Beacon, or even when they were at Signal, if that's where they were previously. And then they ended up being on a team together. Now, we knew that they were friends, like I said. But I think it might be something more, like everybody else does. I'm sorry, but this is one of the biggest shows I have so many ships on. Not the biggest, but one of the biggest. And it's like it keeps changing too, because either somebody does not requite the love, or you'll find out in the end of episode 12 part. And then we finally and then at some point, Coco tells Velvet, while they're fighting these Grims, and soldiers, to use her weapon. Now, like I said, we know originally when they were teasing what the weapon was, they showed this box, and I gotta put this down a little, with her symbol on it, which is a heart with stitches, and I'm gonna say this before I finish talking about the weapon. There's a line in the song, hearts be broken, and her symbol is a heart with stitches in it, so it had to be broken and then sewn back together. hence why everyone thinks she's the Velveteen Rabbit. Hell, her name is Velvet. Though her team's name pretty much means coffee. Or no, not coffee, something. Or maybe it is coffee, because the way you can pronounce stuff with, like, just letters, it sometimes can happen. I can't remember anymore. But back to the weapon. So we've seen a couple times she's had this little camera out, and she's taking pictures, especially when someone has their weapon out. So the last one she took was Rwby. And then, so when she does this, that's the last weapon she actually uses, or the first weapon she actually uses. And it's this weird digital thing. It's like, it's just lines. And you think, okay, what the hell? Is it going to materialize the color or something? It doesn't. It's actually like a digital virtual thing. But it still does damage. Hell, she is badass. It's like, but I think maybe the box is the actual weapon. But I don't think it turns into something. I think her weapon is that she can copy and mimic other people's weapons. And which, like I said, even unless you haven't watched any of the episodes this season, this is no new news. It's just me talking about stuff. We're on to our last 3 pages. So, like I said, V's a badass. Then Velvet gets hit by one of the soldiers, taken over, and we get to finally see part of Weiss's familiar. As we know that the White Schnee family has had a line where they can actually, not just with their powers, or whatever their abilities are called, I can never remember, but they also get familiars. Now, we saw her older sister, Winter Schnee, and it's this giant bear, yeti, something. Now, this takes us back into season 1, white trailer. The soldier she was battling, that we saw when she was doing her song in her little trailer, that has to be what the arm is. Because it's like, Weiss is familiar. Well, his arm. Haven't we seen that arm before? That's literally what I wrote. And then, obviously it works out. But then there's more soldiers coming, and Sun says, "You have got to be kidding," or something like that. It's like, Sun, we know how you feel. This sucks. But it's like, I just drew, like, the X capital D for, like, a laughing face for that. Now, then, fast forwarding a little bit to, during Torchwick / Neapolitan and Rwby's battle. And, well, it's like, he's saying, like, it's not what he has to gain, but it's what he has to lose. What, besides his life, what else does he have to lose? And then this is where I think about it. When he's like, something with the last line he said, Rwby hits the clicker button on Neapolitan's umbrella, and she goes flying away, and he's worried about her. Torchwick is never worried about anybody. He hates Emerald and Mercury because he thinks they're little punks. He's, I think, semi-afraid of Cinder, but kind of gives her respect because it's like, from whatever power she gave him. He doesn't care for anybody else other than himself, except when Neo got blown away. Now, she's not dead. I'm just saying she actually blew away, like Mary Poppins. Oh man, somebody draw that, please. Mary Poppins, Neapolitan version. So I think he actually does care about Neo. Maybe she's his partner in usually crime, and it's like, maybe because we didn't see her right away, maybe because he didn't need her for the moment, but I think he's all the talk and she's all the battle. Like, if Cinder wasn't the one with him in the very first episode of the series, and I mean, back to season 1, I think she would have been the one helping him out. Anyway, going to the next part is like when Rwby gets mad and yells at Torchwick. Rwby sometimes can scare me from time to time, but mainly it's when she makes that kind of face. Sorry, I couldn't find my cat. And then, then Torchwick catches her off balance and he hits her. 2 words: child abuse. That's all I'm saying. And then it's like, and then at the very end he gets eaten. It's like, no, Torchwick, he was eaten by a Nevermore. He got eaten by a bird. Okay, it's kind of funny because a lot of people thought he was gonna be like some sort of Candle character, Jiminy Cricket turned evil when this was all beginning. So that's kind of funny because the bug got eaten by a bird. Then it's like, then Ruby's trying to get off the plane and she uses her thing like hitting the, shooting bullets out, but it's like it helps. Boom, 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 boom. It's like, I know this is just a show, but it's a great way to use ammo, Ruby. You could have used that for something more efficient. And then it's like, so then we get, it cuts to another scene, I don't know if that's fast forward to, where Cardin is battling some of the taken over robots, and somebody hits, the other 2 that are about to attack him in the head. It's like, literally their heads are destroyed, and it's like, the look that Cardin gives, it looks like he wet his pants. It's freaking hilarious. And then we get to see Ironwood, and it's like, now this is where I said Penny was a robot. I think Ironwood's either a robot or an android. I think it's more or less android because it looked like the skin around, it was being burned off around the edges where it was still skin, or that's what's still left of him from whatever surgery or he had, because he has a metal chest plate or whatever, metal arm, metal leg. I don't know if he has 2 metal legs, because like I said, I don't know if he's a robot or an android. It's like, he is freaking awesome! Then we go back to Blake and Adam, and I'm just gonna say this, Adam is a freaking bastard. I'm sorry if you guys are young, but I am not pulling back. And actually, I'm gonna say this little thing. RW, that was my cat. RWBY did post something a while back saying like, this show is not for kids. This is, at least now it's not for kids. This is gonna get dark, and it did. Hell, it did. Not only did Adam slap her, but then when he said he was gonna take away everything she loved, and when the look she gave when she heard Yang looking for her, which in other words is, I want to say this, Blackfire, I'm going to call it Blackfire, because I don't know what the term that most people use. Blackfire's real! Yay! I think she really does care about Yang like that. Maybe. Could be. It was either that or Yang was going to end up with Neptune and Blake end up with Adam again, or Sun. And then, but then he stabs her slightly in the gut. So it wasn't a fatal wound. He wasn't going to be killing her. So that's why I was like, holy crap. And then when Yang hears her, cry out because of the pain, she goes to help her, and man, does she ever look angry. But Adam gets the best of her and cuts off her hand, part of her arm, from the elbow up, down. So, she's an amputee. So, that means, most likely, whatever we saw with her looking for somebody, I think that was her mom, like for the Yang trailer, because she still has her arm, and it still looks normal. Unless that's mechanical, but I don't think it was. I don't think she could mechanical could handle the rage and power she has in her body. And then I don't know if she's talking to or Ozpin, or if it was who she's talking to. Cinder kills the original Automaton that she took the power from, as we saw in one of the flashback episode. And while they were trying to transfer whatever power was left from the Autumn chick into Pyrrha, she gets stabbed with an arrow. Now I think that's what Cinder's actual weapon is. She can do um even in the flashback, it's like her regular weapon was a bow and arrow. I don't know if it can do anything else though. So she says something to Ozpin. It's like she was right about you. Who is she? Now I will get that into that in the one more episode. I guess this is gonna be a three-parter. Sadly, because there's so much I want to say for this last episode, and this is the second time watching it, but it's the first time in my eyes, in honesty. So stay tuned for one more episode. These will be uploaded as soon as each one is done.